Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Astral Tourist. This is kind of a surprise episode because I wasn't sure if I would astral project much last night or not. Since I'm getting ready to travel, I mainly try to just sleep, but I astral projected. In this episode, I'm sharing a magical experience involving an astral school, a gnome, and the Thimble Goddess. So it all started when I became lucid during an astral projection and found myself in an astral school. Now, this wasn't a typical classroom setting with desks and things, more just a large building where people could collaborate and talk, and for beings who were there either teaching, learning, or in some cases simply supporting others. Basically just a large conference meeting type area. The environment was peaceful. It had some decorations, but not a lot. Some comfortable couches and tables and things like that. But what really stood out was that some of the people were receiving large silver plaques. It looked like some kind of reward for service, or perhaps some sort of recognition of a spiritual milestone or accomplishment. I wasn't there to receive any kind of a plaque or formal recognition. Instead, I was mixed in with other support staff. And they immediately telepathed to me that I was there for support as part of the staff when I became lucid. So I knew right away because there were a lot of people there and they're happy to help each other out. And so I was like, okay, I guess I've been helping out here. Just assisting in whatever, was needed. One of the instructors, who seemed to be a more senior figure, approached me and told me she had left something special and she wanted to show me. So she said there were special paints in the staff freezer, and they were paints she didn't plan to return for. She didn't want them to degrade without being used, like many things tend to do in the astral. If you leave them there, they just kind of slowly degrade and don't get used. So she said they were in a large metallic silver-colored container. Now, when I went to get these paints, these just weren't any paints. When I opened up that container, I found tubes that resembled colorful frostings for cakes, each one filled with vibrant colors and decorative elements like crystals, like little tiny ones, confetti, and other small embellishments and decors. It was like opening a box of magical, creative energy. The paints had the texture of finger paints, though, as I was trying to work with them. So I spread them out over a large sheet of paper on a table in the kitchen area. Not all of them, just, some of them. I was trying out some different ones on this paper, on this table in the kitchen, and I began creating. And what I made was a swirling, modern finger painting, almost like an abstract piece where the colors themselves seemed to take on a life of their own once they were on the paper. So even after I stopped applying the various paints and decors, the colors and the crystals and everything continued to swirl and move along on the paper, which really emphasizes the fluidity of the astral realm. So once I finished my creation, I decided to put the paints back in the freezer. But before I did, I made sure to tell a few others in the area about them in case they wanted to try them out as well. I was feeling a little tired when a small being motioned for me to come sit with him. He was a small, earthy, rugged being, almost as though he had been shaped from the earth itself. He was very old, wearing worn rags for clothing, had craggy, wrinkly features, and he was just propped up, sitting on the kitchen floor in like one of the back corner walls. So as soon as I saw him, I knew instantly he was a gnome, or perhaps a hobgoblin. I was a little thrown off because he wasn't wearing the hat the gnomes usually wear, but I was still getting like more gnomey vibes from him than hobgoblin or like brownie vibes. So I'm going with gnome here, but I could have been mistaken. After sitting down beside him, he took both my hands and began filling my heart chakra with a beautiful golden energy. And he didn't ask permission or anything either. He just took my hands like, hey, come here. You're sitting down now. I'm taking your hands. And he just did it. It felt incredibly warm and nourishing. And then he spoke to me. He said, The time of the Thimble Goddess is almost here. He showed me an image of a jeweled golden thimble, and he mentioned an upcoming eclipse. Now, I don't know which one. I haven't looked up the eclipses that are upcoming. But the imagery was striking, and I couldn't quite grasp all of its meaning right away. Like, I wondered, was he referring to the goddess Bridget, maybe, who was often associated with Beltane and fertility? But he didn't specify. Instead, he left me with this wonderful sense of anticipation, like, oh, I've got to wake up and find out about this. So that's just what I did. When I woke up, I did some research. I found in Greek mythology, I think I'm going to say some of these names wrong, but I'm going to give it a go. The three Moirai, also known as the Fates, are often referred to as the Thimble Goddesses. Now, I've heard of the three Fates before, but I didn't realize they were known as Thimble Goddesses. These goddesses are the ones who control the thread of life, and each has a unique role in shaping a person's destiny. Clotho, the spinner, spins the thread of life. Lachesis maybe, the apportioner of lots, measures the thread. And Atropos, she who cannot be turned, cuts it short when it's time for a soul to depart. Well, let's hope they're happy with me, and I'm not going to be departing anytime soon, right? I don't know. I just was doing some research here. The gnome did not specify, like I said, a particular goddess. However, the golden thimble represents the act of weaving, creating, and protecting the threads of destiny. That much became clear to me pretty quickly. What really struck me, though, was the timing of it all. The eclipse the gnome showed me felt significant. It's also worth noting that Beltane is tomorrow. It's May 1st this year. I looked it up when I woke up, and I have to admit I had forgotten all about it because of my busyness with making travel plans and everything. And it just skipped my mind entirely. But while I was doing all this research, Beltane is tomorrow, May 1st. It's a festival that celebrates fertility, growth, and transformation, which, when combined with the symbolism of the fates and the eclipse, makes for a powerful message of change, right? I'm getting this huge message about changes. So what it means for me, I think, is a big shift is coming in my life. I have no idea what it is, but something's coming at me here. A transformation, not just on a personal level, but perhaps it's also a collective one for everyone as well. The Thimble Goddess seems to be a symbol of creation, protection, and fate, one that's coming into alignment with the energies of an upcoming eclipse and the awakening of the summer season here. So, wow, I'm still not entirely sure what to make of it completely, but definitely big changes are coming. And thanks to the gnome for basically telling me Beltane is on the way. I mean, he didn't say it directly, but come on now. That was a pretty big hint. Thank you for joining me today. Happy Beltane if you celebrate it. I'm putting together a little song for it that I'll post later if time allows once I finish packing my bag here. If you've had any similar experiences with trippy gnomes, or if the energy of the Thimble Goddess speaks to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes of The Astral Tourists. Until next time, happy astral travels, and may your threads of destiny be woven with wisdom and light.